I have been working in Polymer since I was 13, and I have a studio in Santa Fe currently. I have sold my work since 1984. I've had a business I've sold in many different kinds of venues, from galleries to museum exhibitions to my website to the space in my studio. And I also have been teaching since about the same time, and my primary interest in my life, I realize, is creative development itself. And I work in Polymer because Polymer lets me do almost anything I want. So as I creatively develop, Polymer clay supports that. And so part of a lot of the teaching and also the coaching work I do with people involves that kind of development, particularly using Polymer because it's so responsive and versatile to who we really are and what we're here to create. And that's my big goal. When I started out, it was so easy. Everybody bought jewelry. There were shows everywhere. Everybody bought stuff. It was like, okay, this is a no-brainer, and it's lots of fun. Things have changed, as we all know, so dramatically that for many people, a variety of income streams that somehow feed us financially as well as emotionally are important and necessary. And because there now are so many options for how to sell, and no one is so dramatically better than any other one, it gives us more flexibility to find out what really works for us personally, and not so much like pre-assumptions. You know, it's like when the culture only has a few options open to us, that's all we get to choose. We have to figure out who we are in terms of plan A, plan B, or plan C. If there are, you know, all the letters of the alphabet, and I realize that what I really love is plan W with a little bit of plan X, then that's really great because now I can do those things. So in terms of my income streams, I sell a lot of my work and I sell online. I have a website and also a separate gallery shop website. But because I love to teach so much, and because I work with people and love to work with people individually, I also have a site for the creative coaching that I do, and I have a site for the educational products that I sell that are primarily the DVDs and books and things like that I've done. And what is positive about that for me is that I still make the art I want, and the stress in the art I make is on what I really want to express, because I know there are other ways that I can make my money. Not all my money has to come from the objects, the jewelry objects themselves, which means I have more flexibility. And if I'm clever and continue to evolve in how I'm thinking about our human response to creativity, then every time I have something more to offer, I have a venue to offer it in. All the different things that seem like diverse income streams are all right back to the very same thing, which is about creative development, my own and other people's. So all those things that I do keep feeding the one thing, and it doesn't really feel like a bunch of diverse income streams to me. It feels like I'm doing the one thing and it's taking different forms. It all still is about creative expression. The more you know who you are, the more you can, especially now, given the resources and the global community and all these sorts of things, digital technology, the more you know who you are, the more you can play those ideas into lots of different arenas. To me, it just enhances your ability to find out who you are so you can express creatively from that place. So I recently finally figured out what to call my coaching business, because it takes so many different forms, and each person that I work with wants and desires and needs different things and is in a different place. And so for the longest time, I didn't know what to call what I did because it was different for everybody. So what I call it now, and I'm like, phew, thank goodness, I call myself the Inner Sherpa. I'm the Inner Sherpa because I help you figure out your route. I help you decide what you're going to need along the way. I help you map out a course. I guide you along the way, although a friend of mine points out, you don't do luggage. Yes, I don't carry the luggage for you, but I do everything else. I make sure that what you need is clear to you. We talk about it ahead of time, and we make sure that you can get it. I do a lot of listening. People come to me with all different desires or frustrations, lots of different goals, sometimes even just saying, I want to be more creative. I have no idea how. I can't stand it anymore because I'm so frustrated and I don't even know what I'm frustrated about. We sit down and we just talk for a while. I ask you questions, and they're, you know, usually pretty easy questions, and nothing is scary. Nothing is ever meant to be scary. Some people find that Oh, feelings and ideas arise, and it's not because I'm making them, I'm not like dragging up their childhood or anything. It's that they realize the reason they're frustrated is because for 50 years they've wanted to get back to what they were doing when they were 6, that they just really, really loved and have remembered all this time. So once they realize for themselves how much hold those feelings have on them, then they also realize how genuine their desire is to do that, and how valid making that happen is for them right now. So I don't think I've ever left one of my clients after a session feeling bad about anything. No matter what happens as we're talking and thinking of ideas and brainstorming and thinking of assignments and action steps, no matter where the conversation wanders in the middle, it's really important for me that you as a potential client understand this is all about the excitement of your own creative growth. There's nothing bad or scary or horrifying in here. It's this enhanced power, enhanced awareness of what's going on around you, of your own abilities and your own magnificent goals and dreams, your own things you already know that you don't even know you know. And so I'll listen to you and I say, hey, do you realize that you already know this thing you just asked me about? Because I just heard you say this. So I've worked with people specifically on marketing, on figuring out what it is they want to do on a financial level, what their real goals are. I have some clients who definitely want to make a very successful business out of some aspect of their creative process, whether it's making jewelry or writing or composing music. I have other clients who say, I don't need to make money from this. I had a successful job and I have resources financially, but I need to know how to find value in my life of a different type that I was not getting from just purely making money. So what I need to do is find out even how I value anything and what I value within myself and how I can express that. And the whole genesis of Take Two is actually Carol and Penina talking, and particularly Penina, because as we all kind of know at this point, it's there are a lot of gifted artists teaching who have specific techniques to share, and also whose work results in a very specific style. And a lot of people who take classes with those artists end up making a very identifiable piece in exactly that style. There are lots of us who would like to offer a different way for students to absorb a technique, but pretty immediately begin personalizing it. And as Penina pointed out, most other media do not inherently have a teacher teaching and everybody in the class makes something that looks like the teachers. That's actually fairly uncommon, actually quite uncommon, I think, in most other media. But it happens, as we know, in Polymer a lot. So the goal for the Take Two workshop, specifically to have someone like Carol paired with someone like me, our work is obviously radically different. Our approach to Polymer is different. And it turns out we have some philosophical areas where we are identical, which was really exciting. And the basic concept here, which is to teach some technical aspects that are full of mastery and have those techniques taught by someone who is, obviously extremely adept both at doing those techniques and teaching those techniques, and then pair them with someone, I guess in this case me, who really wants to emphasize the personal creative voice and the improvisation and the willingness to always be experimenting and synthesizing and bringing everything together. The technique and improvisation format, right now being called Take Two, is something I definitely will be continuing. What we're doing as we develop a global culture is learning how to collaborate and cross-pollinate in ways that are very powerful. We don't even know about them yet. And so it's, to just be even sharing in that a little bit with these Take Two workshops is, I can hardly wait.